everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing very well today. So I hope you enjoy my newish background. I know it's kind of odd timing because fall is right around the corner, like to start decorating for it, but I saw these really cute lights at Home Goods or TJ Maxx yesterday, and I wanted to just throw them out. They do have like an ombre effect, so it's supposed to be white, pink, and then purple, or like a darker pink, but you probably can't see that. But I don't know, I thought it added something, and I hope that you enjoy. But today's video, I'm really excited to do because I love any form of tag. I love when tag videos go around. I think that they're so much fun to participate in. And honestly, I just love talking about makeup. I love talking about my makeup collection and so forth. So this is the makeup collection tag. And this was created by, I think it was Georgia Harris. And then I got the idea from Sarah Rose. So if Georgia Harris still makes videos, I will try to find her channel and link it down below. And then of course I will include Sarah Rose's video because she is the one who inspired me to do this video. So full credit to Georgia Harris, but I was inspired to do the video by Sarah Rose. And so there are 14 questions that are basically all about your makeup collection. So let's get into it. So how long have you been collecting makeup? And by the way, I did not think about these questions beforehand at all. I started doing it, but I was like, you know what? I kind of want to have organic answers. So that's what I'm doing. I did not, at least I tried not to, think about these questions beforehand. So these should be my organic responses. So I have been collecting makeup for at least 10 years. And I say that because 10 years ago was 2013. I graduated high school in 2014. And in high school, I had a lot of the Urban Decay Naked palettes. I want to say, I don't think I had anything from ABH, but I certainly had the Urban Decay palettes. I also was kind of dipping my toes into the Lorac formula. And so I was already collecting makeup at that point. And again, that was when I was in high school. I obviously didn't have a collection as large as I do now, but I still kind of had that collection or collector's mentality because I wanted every Urban Decay Naked palette. And I did ask for it for either my birthday or for Christmas. And my parents were always kind enough to get it for me. And so I did still want to have the collection. So I would say at least 10 years. I don't know the exact amount of years or the exact date, but it's been a very, very long time. The second question is, what kind of collection do you have? And I have a large collection. I wouldn't say that my collection is as big as some creators here on YouTube, especially because they receive PR. I am obviously a small creator. I am not even monetized here on YouTube, so I actually don't receive any form of revenue for this channel yet. I also don't receive any PR yet. Of course, I'm hoping that will change, but I would say I have a large collection. It's definitely not minimal. It's not a small collection. It's not even a medium-sized collection. I would say it's pretty big. There are certain categories within my collection that are a lot larger than others. For instance, my eyeshadow palettes and my blushes, I would say that's my largest category. But when it comes to like lipsticks, lip glosses, bronzers, foundations, I would say those are maybe more like medium sized, I guess. I mean, you let me know. I don't know. You guys let me know, you know, what size do you think my makeup collection is? I would say it's probably large, but I would still love to hear from you guys. And also, I do think that having that all of my makeup is pretty much stored in my Alex stores, I feel like that does say something, because there are people that have like multiple Alex stores and everything does fit in here. So at least for now. So that's a little bit about my collection. Question number 3, are you a completionist? So this really does vary, and it does have some dependencies. And so I say that because I do not have a complete set of anything in my collection. I don't have a complete set of eyeshadow palettes as far as like every single, for instance, every single eyeshadow palette that Too Faced has ever come out with, I do not own. But there are certain brands that I do feel a little bit more loyal to than others. For instance, Natasha Denona was one that came to mind immediately when I read this question, because while I do not own every single Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette, I have purchased most of them as of, I would say, from the last few years. I don't own a lot of her like larger palettes or her $129 palettes. I own a lot of her midi palettes, like the palettes that were ranging between $65 and $70, because those are a lot more affordable, and that's really what she's been coming out with more so lately. So she is a person or a brand that I tend to be more loyal to, where I want to have that completionist mindset, but I definitely don't have a completionist collection. Same thing with like maybe with Too Faced and their holiday palettes. Like, I'm not gonna buy that holiday palette. It's the maple syrup pancakes palette, I think, that they came out with for fall. I'm not getting that. I was so disappointed in last year's fall palette from Too Faced that I am not going to purchase this year's. I don't even get any use out of the one from last year's. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for whatever palette that interests me, because I tend to purchase these fall palettes from Too Faced. I don't need to do it every single year, especially if the quality is declining or if I feel that I'm not drawn to the color story. So I would say I'm not a completionist. However, there are brands that I tend to be a little bit more loyal to. Then we have question 4. How do you store / organize your collection? So primarily the Alex stores. The Alex stores that is where like all of my foundations, primer, like pretty much every category of makeup is in there. However, I do have, like in this organizer behind me, I do have some of my smaller eyeshadow palettes in there. And then in this drawer, that's on what is it, dresser, vanity, desk, what have you, from IKEA. I do store my like shop my stash or like everyday makeup in that drawer. And so that's pretty much it. Everywhere else, all of my makeup is in the actual Alex 9 drawers, because when I'm done with the shop my stash products, they do go back into the drawers here, and then I pull for new products every 2-3 weeks. Let's see, number 5, what is your favorite thing about your collection? My favorite thing, I would say that I really love my blush collection. It's a little bit overwhelming and can bring me some anxiety sometimes, but I love blush, and I love that I have so much to choose from. I love that I have liquid blushes, cream blushes, powder blushes, and I tend to have a lot of really good formulas in my collection, which is a great thing, right? Because I'm almost guaranteed that whatever blush I grab for, I'm going to love. And I'm going to enjoy the formula. And I also really enjoy my eyeshadow palette collection as well. I think that I've done a good job at decluttering it over the years. I used to have well over 120 palettes. I think I'm right at maybe 100, if not a little bit over. And so I do feel like I love my drugstore palettes. I love my high-end palettes. I love my luxury palettes. Of course, there are still some that go unused, but I definitely do think that I have so many options, and I love the different formulas within my collection as well, both blush and eyeshadow. Number 6, what is your least favorite thing about or something to improve your collection? So this one is hard. I would say my foundations always bring me so much anxiety, because it's kind of a double-edged sword, because I love foundations. I love purchasing foundations. I love trying new formulas, but I tend to get overwhelmed by the amount of foundations I have in my collection. I'm not sure why that is. I'm thinking it's maybe because I know that foundations go bad and I'm putting them all over my skin, like all over my face, so I don't want to break out or anything. So maybe it's that, but I think also is because when I have so many foundations, I feel like I never know how I truly feel about all of the formulas in my collection. And so I would say my foundations, like I wish that I was more uninterested in foundations, because I truly just get overwhelmed by that category in my collection. And I feel that if I was a little bit more selective with what I brought in, and if I just stuck to like my true holy grails, I wish that I could get to the point where like I used the same few foundations over and over and I actually was able to like finish things. So that would be probably my least favorite category. Although I love the foundations that I have, I just have so many to choose from that sometimes I just feel like I'm not sure how I even feel about some of them. Number 7, what is the biggest category of your collection? That is certainly eyeshadow palettes. I think that's probably going to be most people's answer. I do have either, like I said, under like barely under 100 or a little bit over 100 eyeshadow palettes. I have done this thing where I've tried to stick the more like the palettes that I want to reach for, the palettes that are more like everyday. I've tried to keep them in my Alex 9 drawers, and then taking out the palettes that I don't use a whole lot, or maybe they're more seasonal palettes, I try to store them somewhere else, like maybe in a box in like my closet or something. That way I still have them, but they're not like fully part of my collection. But yes, that is my largest part of my collection. But like I said, I do like it. I do enjoy it. I love every palette in my collection for some reason, or whether it's because I love the formula or the color story. I tend to really just enjoy everything that I have. Number 8, what is the smallest category of your collection? I would say, like if I had to think, probably my eyeliners. I have very few eyeliners. I am not a huge eyeliner person, so that makes sense. I think I only have a handful of eyeliners. I have some that are a little bit more colorful, but then I also have some that are more like every day, like a brown liner or something, or a nude liner. But yeah, for the most part, my eyeliner collection remains very, very small. Number 9, do you have a holy grail in your collection? Yes. I would say I have a holy grail everything in my collection. I have holy grail primer, foundation, concealer, powder, bronzer, everything. I have so many favorites in my collection, and so much so that I would consider them to be holy grails for sure. Number 10, do you ever wish your collection was bigger, smaller, or is it complete? Definitely smaller. I do wish my collection was smaller. I don't regret anything that I have. Like I said, I love my blush collection, even though it is so massive. I do love it. But do I wish it was smaller? Absolutely. I do kind of, not that I wish that this is what I was, because I love makeup and I always will, and I feel like my collection's just always going to be bigger because of that. But I do wish I was the type of girly that just like lived out of a makeup bag. Like I love that. Like nothing interests me more than like seeing what's in people's makeup bags. I love, 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 love that kind of stuff. And so by extension, I kind of wish that I was that type of girl. But again, I love makeup and I always will, and I'm always going to be interested in like the new stuff. I'm always going to be interested in eyeshadow palettes and blushes and foundations, you know what I mean? So I do wish it was smaller just because it would be a lot more manageable, but I also am happy with where I'm at. I do feel like I love what I have. And with my Shop My Stash, I do feel like I get to most of it, so that's always good. Number 11, how often do you declutter makeup in your collection? I declutter a lot. You do not see it. I did include a highlighter and blush declutter on my channel, so I will have those linked down below in case you were wondering about those. But for the most part, I declutter probably once a month, if not more than that, because I'm constantly like reanalyzing my collection. Again, stuff like foundations. Is anything getting old? Am I seeing anything like discolored? Do I smell anything that's off? You know, especially like those cleaner brands like Tower 28, Kosas. I'm looking at those products. I'm smelling them. I'm feeling them because I want to make sure that they haven't gone off. So yes, I constantly declutter for my collection, especially during my shop my stashes, I tend to analyze what I'm using and like, do I absolutely love it? Am I unsure about it? Or do I just really not enjoy those products anymore? And some weeks I do end up decluttering from my shop my stash. And that's also why I really enjoy that series on my channel, because it pushes me to use strictly what is in that area of my makeup, like again using my everyday makeup drawer, because it'll push me to use those products and fully get my thoughts on them. Because again, sometimes like I'll use a foundation and I may not use it again for like 3 months or something, and like so much can change in that time frame. So yes, I do declutter. I declutter fairly regularly. I tend to give products to my sisters, my friends. I even tell like my sisters, like if they know of anybody to give their products to, or give my products to, they can. I've given stuff to my mother-in-law. I even am considering giving stuff to my Buy Nothing group. So every city, I believe, has a Buy Nothing group, which is just basically on Facebook where you can post anything and just say that it's free. Like you're welcome to it. And like that stuff, maybe like some drugstore makeup or some older-ish makeup that I think maybe my sisters won't want or something like that, I'm actually considering giving those to the Buy Nothing group. So anyways, number 12, do you ever get envious seeing other people's makeup collections? No, I am not. I'm a jealous person, but I would say for the most part, I tend to try my best to stay in the most like grateful mind possible. But do I get jealous of like people opening up PR? Absolutely, only because I want to get to that part of my life. I want my YouTube channel to grow. And so of course I do kind of wish that I got PR, right? But I am not jealous or envious of other people's collections. Do I love seeing other people's collections? Absolutely. It's one of my favorite types of videos to watch. I love seeing makeup collection videos, makeup declutter videos, shop my stash videos, because all of those types of videos, they get me into seeing their collection, and I ultimately love that. But no, I'm definitely not. There are some collections that I really, really enjoy though, and I love taking a peek into what they have. Number 13, who on YouTube has the best makeup collection video? I would say, I don't know. Like I really love Lauren Mae Beauty. I love the makeup that she has. I feel like she has a really good mixture of like indie brands and then more mainstream brands. I will say though that she doesn't have a lot of drugstore, and I am such a drugstore lover. So maybe I won't say her actually. Maybe I'll go with Jen Phelps. Jen Phelps, I swear her makeup collection is so beautiful. She has like every single formula. I feel like she can probably literally set up a Sephora in her house. And I mean that the best way possible. Like that's just the type of YouTuber that she is. Like she loves reviewing new makeup. She loves talking about makeup. She loves discovering new drugstore gems. She loves comparing drugstore formulas to high-end formulas. I mean, I think her collection is so stunning, and I wish that she would do more collection videos, because again, I just love seeing into people's collections so much. I think it is so fun. Last question, number 14, what is some advice you'd give to a future makeup collector? So I would say that if you love makeup, right, do not feel guilty if you have multiple of one item in a certain category. Nothing becomes more like limiting when you start feeling guilty about something. I have felt that a lot throughout my makeup journey, if you will, because I do get judged for the amount of makeup that I have. I do get judged whenever I declutter makeup, perfectly good makeup, right, to people, because they think, why are you getting rid of this? Like, this seems really good, you know? So don't feel like guilty that you want to have 5 foundations in your collection. You know, obviously from my experience, don't buy everything under the sun, because then you are going to feel overwhelmed. You are going to feel a little bit stressed out by your collection. But if you want 5 foundations in your collection, have 5 foundations in your collection. You know, if you want to have 10 blushes in your collection, have 10 blushes in your collection. I would say do what makes you happy, but because you're new at it, don't get too overwhelmed, right? Don't get to the point where you have so much to choose from. I would say maybe if you can, start with minis, right? So many brands now, which is something that I love, they are starting to carry minis, and almost to the point where they're releasing new products with already a mini being available. And I would start with minis, right? That way you're testing it out. It's going to be bigger than a sample, so you're going to get more product, but you're also going to be able to finish it up. Looking back, I wish that I had more minis, because again, like, I would use them up. I'm pretty sure that I would. So I would start there, because then with minis you can buy more of it. I know that that's probably not the best advice, but at least you're getting something at a cheaper price. It may not be the best value, but for me, a better value is when you finish something up rather than buying the full size for a better value and then never finishing it. Do you know what I mean? So I would say start small, but small enough to where you feel comfortable, or large enough to where you feel comfortable, but small enough to where you don't feel too overwhelmed. Hopefully that is not confusing, but those are all of the questions. Let me know, did you enjoy the makeup collection tag? If you are watching and you have a YouTube channel, definitely I tag you to do this this video on your channel. And if you don't have a YouTube channel, I would love to hear from you anyways in the comments. Please feel free to answer all of the questions in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys. Also comment below if you agree with my answers or if you think differently about my collection. I always love hearing from you guys. And again, I will of course have Sarah Rose's video links down below, since she is the one that inspired me to do this video, as well as the creator Georgia Harris's YouTube channel if I can find her. I will definitely include her info also. But if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of my YouTube channel family here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will go ahead and see you in my next video. Bye!